PLC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from the company Hollyland. And this is the Lark M1 dual digital wireless lav microphone, or microphone system, since, you know, it is kind of a system, it's a kit. It's dual, so this is a wireless lav that's for mobile devices and DSLRs and other cameras. And it's digital, which means it's 2.4 gigahertz, and that comes with some perks. We'll get to that in a second. But it is available in two different variations. You have the dual, which is this, and you also have the solo, which is just a singular transmitter and a receiver. So if you just need one microphone. But of course, if you're going to invest good money into something, then you might as well go with the dual system. So that way you do have a second microphone just in case you need it. Now on to the digital portion of this. Unlike analog or normal RF wireless mic systems, this doesn't have to rely on having to choose a frequency. It's digital. It's 2.4 gigahertz like your Wi-Fi. That's it. No changing frequencies, no nothing. Also, a benefit to this is that it's digital and it can go a long way. It can go actually up to 650 feet. Of course, that's in perfect condition, so that would be outside with absolutely no obstructions whatsoever. So if you're just in the field and nothing to interfere, you should get up to 650 feet. Indoors, you're going to get less, obviously, because you have walls and other things that can, interfere. But even with that, you should be able to get a few hundred feet out of this indoors, which is pretty good. And so far, I'd say you could probably rely on that, because this one that I'm wearing right now is their other wireless microphone. This is their Lark 150. Now this is, of course, their flagship model, currently flagship model. This is a $300 microphone. This is a $150 microphone. And of course, this is also unfair because we actually have, we have a very specific profile we like to hear from our microphone. So we do have a third-party microphone of a name I won't mention plugged into it in terms of a lav plugging into this. So to actually hear what the Lark 150 sounds like, I would have to unplug that and just talk right into this microphone, but not that close. So what I'll do is now I'll just plug that right up to my shit right there. This is the 150, and this is what it sounds like without a lav microphone. Now we prefer, again, with the lav microphone, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So 150, this is the Lark 150, this is $300. So this is what we're going to use as a comparison to see what the difference is between their flagship and their more affordable $150 model, the Lark M1. So with this one here, you get up to 8 hours of use, or up to 20 hours of use when you're charging it in the hub, or just the case. Now the case it's just like wireless earbuds. The case does hold a charge itself. Everything charges via USB-C and charges pretty quickly. I think it's like 1.5 hours, right? Yep, 1.5 hours. So it's pretty intense right there. Plug it in, charge the case, charge the mics, run, get out of there. Of course, to get the whole case charged along with the mics, it might be more than 1.5 hours, but 1.5 will at least get you 8 hours of use, and everything in a small footprint. No need to carry a bunch of gear around. It's pretty cool. Also comes with noise cancellation and volume presets. You got high, mid, and low volume presets, which are going to determine or going to be used based upon whatever your scenario is. So if you're in a small controlled atmosphere like this is a studio, or if you're at home and you're sitting in your living room or your bedroom and you're recording, you're going to want to put it on low. Slightly bigger environments, put it on mid. And then, of course, if you're in wide open, this huge area, and you're trying to capture everything, you might want to put it on high. But you have three options, quick profiles to choose from for volume. And then that volume itself records at a high resolution, or decent high resolution. You get 48 kilohertz at 16-bit audio, which is pretty good, and kind of expected at the same time. But for some of these mobile kits, these more affordable digital solutions, you don't always get that. Sometimes it can sound a little muffled and kind of not so good due to compression. But thanks to using 2.4 gigahertz and not Bluetooth, you're not seeing that compression. And then some final notes. They are lightweight. The little transmitters like this one, it's nice and small and lightweight. These are 0.4 ounces each, so it's really lightweight. It's not going to tug on the clothes or be uncomfortable to anybody that you're miking or yourself. And it does come with two adapters, which we'll get to in a moment, to get it connected to your cameras, as well as some optional purchasable adapters that we have right here for those looking to use it with mobile devices. So of course, you're wanting to know what it looks like. So we're going to pop this open. We're going to see what it looks like, see what it comes with. And inside, everything is neatly tucked away into this cool looking case right here. It's a semi-hard shell case that's of very nice design. So that's a big plus. For a $150 price point, it's nice to see that they're putting all their same quality into it as they have their other flagship models. But inside the case, you have everything. You have your charging case here. You have, looks like, some windscreens for the clip-ons. You have a USB cable, so basically everything's separated with this nice little flap to just prevent scratching so that the case doesn't get scratched. You have a USB to USB-C, again, for charging. You have two adapters that I had just mentioned for your cameras. You actually have a TRS to TRS. This is going to be for pretty much any camera, DSLR, camcorder, or anything else that takes a 3.5 millimeter input. So it's just a stereo TRS connection. And then this one is going to be for TRRS devices. So you have your TRS, which plugs into the receiver, and then you have the TRRS connection here that plugs into laptops or computers that have that shared port. So what TRRS means is tip, ring, ring, sleeve, which means you have your stereo audio, but you also have that third channel there that's going to be for microphone. And that's what this is sending. So for those computers, it needs that third ring, so it knows that, hey, I need to receive data off of that, else you're going to plug it in using this and it may not work. So in this case, you're going to get full cooperation with your mobile device, or at least your computer or laptop device, and allowing you to use it with that. So if you just want to put up like a podcast setup in your bedroom or something, and you just want to hook this up to your laptop, it'll work just fine using the black to gray cable, which is TRS to TRRS. You have some documentation here that's tucked away. You have a "We Are Here For You" sales card, which just says thanks for buying, tells you how to contact them. You have a Lark M1 quick guide, which is just a little fold out that shows you some of the just basic information of the device in terms of how to turn on noise canceling and set the volumes, switch between the modes, as well as your charging and storage, and some of your specs, and of course which one's the receiver and transmitter, how to charge them, and all the various other things that you need to know to get started. And then you have your user manual, which is a little bit more in depth to really give you more information about how everything works, as well as how to adapt it to your camera. In this case, it looks like they're using a Canon as an example, but in most cases when connecting to a DSLR, we've actually spoken about this in the past and how to get rid of the noise in some of the Canons. You might want to check out that video if you experience that issue, but bring the volume down on your camera and set it to a very low volume, not off, but low, and then plug this in and start to use it. You'll get plenty of volume and it'll be nice, crisp, and clear. So it gives you some of that information in the book, which is very useful to see. As for those windscreens, now these are not lavalier windscreens like you see here. This is actually for, as I said, the actual transmitter, and that's going to be tucked away in this neat little mobile case that's very well protected. Now, it's a black and yellow design here. It looks pretty nice. It's got a little logo here in the front. For some reason, I don't know why, but when I stare at this, I just think Overwatch. I don't know why. Overwatch. That just pops into my head for some reason, but it's got a nice sleek design that's similar to a lot of your in-ear wireless buds, and which is cool because it's smaller than what the Lark 150's charging case is, because Lark 150's case is about like yay big. This is much smaller than that. You have your USB-C connection at the bottom for charging it, and when you open it up, you can see, once you pop the lid, you see what the case's current charge is at. You have your two transmitters and the receiver in the middle. So we'll take out just one of these. And as I do, you can see it immediately turned on. It's protected by a little piece of tape there that's covering the microphone grill because it's aluminum and they don't want scratching during delivery. And then, of course, a piece at the bottom to protect where it plugs in to charge. You can also plug in, it looks like, the USB cable directly right into the bottom, which is nice. So that way, if you want to charge this individually, you can do that, which is also kind of cool because if you have a mobile rig and you just want to charge on the go without having to use the case, and you have a USB solution off of your camera rig, just plug right into the mics and do it that way. So both of them are the same. You have your power button right here for turning them on and off manually. You have your mode button right here, and again, we'll take to the instructions to know exactly what that's for, but it's labeled as, the front here is your LED status indicator. Now it's going to be blue or green, and blue means off, green is on, and what that is referring to is noise canceling. So right now there's no noise canceling. But again, power button at the top there. The bottom one is a pair or noise canceling button. So yeah, so as long as it's paired to this, one press is probably going to change that, but we'll find that out in a moment. And that's it. Okay, so we're moving on to the receiver here, which is just slightly bigger, while also incredibly small. And speaking of small, yeah, these stickers are sticking to me. These are really lightweight. I like these. Now this is gonna sound a little noisy. The Lark 150 is definitely a little bit heavier, while also not being bad. Excuse the noise there. This is a lot lighter in comparison, so probably around half the weight or even less than that, I'd say. But the transmitter is also, or excuse me, the receiver is also very light. You see here two LED status indicators right here, as well as some buttons on the top or on this side. On this one side, you have your power button and your out is going to be where your TRS connection plugs into. And then you have, which we'll go to the instructions for, so we give you proper information. We have the pair and volume plus button, and the mode switch and volume down button. Now right now these stopped blinking because I pulled this out and it turned on, so that means that they have paired to each other. So I should be able to come over here and hit this button, and there it is. It turned green. So now noise canceling is on for this one. Simple. And it looks like, as you can see, they both have turned green. So that is user friendly. Once you turn noise canceling on one, they both turn on. They turn it off, they both turn off. So it's quick. So if you're interviewing somebody and the camera guy is like, we're getting too much noise, you can hit your noise canceling button, and both you and the person that you're talking to will immediately switch over. So you don't have to play with theirs. So taking a look at these instructions to better explain the mode button on the receiver, because the receiver is not controlling the noise canceling, only the transmitters are. The mode button on the receiver is specifically for stereo versus mono, it looks like. So if I change this, if it switches to green, there it is, it's now in mono mode, which means both of these are just going to be doing left and right, and just all put in together. Yeah, kind of like what you're hearing now, because I believe we record in mono. Yeah, so we're in mono right now with the system we have going now. If you're just using one of these, that's where you're also going to benefit from this. So if you just want both on both channels, don't carry, and or you're only using one microphone, now that one microphone's going left to right. Now if I press and hold this and it turns blue, which you'll see in a moment, there it goes, that means that it's in stereo mode, which means that left will be left, right will be right. So in this case, this one is connected as it looks like, I'm assuming right, and so you'd be hearing me in the right side if we were plugged in. This one over here is flashing because I dropped that in over here, so it lost connection to it because now it's charging. So this will, the status will tell you which one's connected. So right is right, left is left. So again, volume up and down. Press and hold the volume plus button to pair manually in case you lose connection. And the mode / volume down, that's just to turn the volume down manually and or to switch to the stereo versus mono. And again, it's low, medium, high for volume settings, and it defaults to medium. So you're at medium by default. And then as for these little windscreens, they're little plastic little clips right here that just go over the microphone, and all you do is slide it on like that and clips into place, and you have this really cool, goofy looking Siberian hat that it gets to wear. So in case it's windy outside, you won't have to worry about getting that wind noise going into the microphone. So that's it. You have your receiver and your two transmitters in this really groovy, very portable case that gives you up to 20 hours of use, and then by themselves up to 8 hours. But it doesn't stop there. There are two different optional accessories that we had spoken about, and this connects them to your phone. One is a USB-C to 2.5 millimeter TRRS, which means this will plug into the receiver, and then this plugs into your mobile device. So this will be an Android phone or anything else, tablet, anything that uses a USB-C connection for taking microphone input with. And then I'm going to guess, since we haven't opened these yet, that this one is going to be their other optional one, which is a TRS. Yep, there it is. This is a TRS to Lightning connection for iOS devices that still cling on to that Lightning connection that's so proprietary. But soon you won't have to worry about this, since all Apple devices will be USB-C in the near future. Thank you, Europe, for that. So this eventually will be useless unless you're holding on to your older iOS devices. Everything in the future will use the USB-C. So you have cameras, you have laptops and computers, you have USB-C devices, and Lightning devices. Therefore, this microphone will work for anything, just like the Lark 150 can. So cameras, computers, mobile devices, whatever you want to use this for, it'll work. And the mobile device ones are optional. You have to buy that separately. So just keep that in mind. Those are optional. What you get is what you see right here. The 2 connections, the 2 windscreens, the USB cable, charging case, 2 transmitters in the receiver, and some documentation with a really nice travel case to keep everything protected with. So, with all of that wonderful information, you're probably wondering what it sounds like. So again, what you're listening to right now is the Lark 150. That is the company's flagship microphone, the 150. This is $300. We're going to shift over and we're going to plug in the M1, which is a $150 entry level, at least their entry level, mobile microphone. And we'll get to see what that sounds like. So, we'll just put that right there. Now you're listening to the M1. This is what it sounds like. And it's just plugged onto the shirt. No lavaliers connected to it or anything like that, because it doesn't support lavaliers. I cannot plug one of these into it because this is really just an entry-level kit that's just made to clip on and go. So no lavalier access this time around. It's just a clip-on microphone. And the receiver's over there. Right now you're listening, you might have already noticed, you're going to hear me in the right channel. You're not hearing me in both channels. So let's change that. And now you're hearing me with both channels in stereo, or, well, not stereo, mono, really. You're hearing me in both channels, but now it's combined in mono from the receiver that our camera guy just switched it over by holding that button down for 5 seconds. Now this is without noise canceling. The blue light is on. I'm going to go ahead and switch that to noise canceling. And now the light is green, so therefore noise canceling is on. Of course, this is a controlled studio, so we don't have noise, unfortunately. So we'll just do this. I'm making noise. You're probably going to hear that. It's too close to the microphone. But the benefits of having the noise cancellation is, you know, maybe you're going to get rid of traffic noises, and birds, or dog barking in the neighbor or the street, across the street somewhere. Or somebody will whisper to each other for me. We got 2 people whispering just a little bit. I can hear them perfectly fine. So let's hope that you can't hear them. And I'm being told you can't. So camera guy gives the thumbs up. He's monitoring. So definitely it's working quite well for the noise cancellation. So again, aha, perfect. We do have a water cooler that's in the studio for people who need water, and that just kicked on. So if you can hear that in the background, then it's not working. If you can hear it, then it is working. Let's go ahead and turn it back off. So now we're on blue, and they're no longer whispering, but the cooler over here on the side of the room here, it is on. So now you might hear it. A little compressor, very quiet compressor actually. But there you have it. Again, I'm gonna turn that back on just because noise canceling is fun. But this is the Hollyland Lark M1 Duo digital wireless mic. Duo, meaning, spelled D-U-O, which is a dual, D-U-A-L, lavalier solution. So 2 units here. You got 1 and 2. This is the other one, which is now turning on, connecting. So now you're going to hear me in 2 different microphones. Now it's automatically, once it paired, it automatically switched to noise canceling as well. We'll just put that there just for an annoyance of picking up with 2 different mics. But You get the two mics, you get the receiver, the receiver over there, you have this nifty charging case that's really nice and small, up to 20 hours of use. So what do you think about this? What does this sound like to you? Does this sound like a microphone that you'd be willing to jump on board with? Again, it's $150. So it's a pretty good price point for a dual microphone system. So if this sounds good, a lot of people are probably going to be rushing, well, I was going to say to the stores, but mostly online, probably to places like Amazon or anyone else that might be selling these to get their hands on one. And we'll have links in the description as well to make it easy. And we'll have a full story or review at pocnetwork.net come time once we had more time to play with this and get a better idea of what we think about it. But we'll have links again in the description. And of course, the review will also have links as well once it does publish. So definitely use the comments below and let us know what you think. What does this sound like to you? And is this something that you see yourself using, or something, is it not something that you see yourself using? Whatever the case may be, definitely use the comments and discuss it amongst yourselves and with us, because we'd love to hear what you think. And of course, if you liked what you seen here, don't forget to subscribe, follow us, and hit that like button. Like the video and let us know that you enjoyed what you saw. But definitely subscribe and follow us. We have many more videos to come. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.